Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Just Another Paid Product, a spin-off where we give an honest and humorous review of other well-known products and services. To celebrate the new series starting, we'll be looking at the YouTuber snack meal kit, Lunchly. Since this is a new series, it would mean a lot if you consider liking and subscribing. Ah, man, I got the timing wrong on that one. Well, anyway, Lunchly is a children's lunch meal kit that was started in the fall of 2024. It's a collaboration between two YouTuber food products, Prime, which is the sports drink promoted by KSI and Logan Paul, and Feastables, which is the chocolate brand of Mr. Beast. All three of these men are some of the biggest people to ever be on the internet, with KSI and Logan Paul being some of the most popular YouTubers, and Mr. Beast quite literally being the biggest one. So it makes sense why they would all collaborate on a product together. It's probably the best way to bridge all their fan bases and help increase exposure for Prime and Feastables, and surely create a product that everyone would like. So when is it finally over? To say Lunch's release was bad timing would be an understatement. This came out in the midst of one of the biggest dramas that ever happened on YouTube, involving Mr. Beast having multiple allegations and controversies towards him and his company. It also probably didn't help Lunchly having Logan Paul being one of the founders, who is one of the most polarizing people to ever be on the internet, with a bucket list full of controversies. And with all of this in mind, it led to Lunchly having one of the most hated and made fun of announcements for any product released by a YouTuber. I was actually going to originally first cover Prime and Feastables in their own separate videos, then wait a few months for the drama to die down, then review Lunchly. But a dear acquaintance of mine really wanted me to review Lunchly as soon as possible. So this one's for you, Terror. Now, we can't really talk about Lunchly without talking about its main inspiration and the product Lunchly themselves say they're a healthy version of: Lunchables! To give a brief history of Lunchables, they're a children's snack meal kit company that was formally launched in 1988, being conceived by Bob Drain, who was trying to sell more bologna for his company, which later spin off to a variety of different meats and items. I think every generation of elementary school kids since the 1990s always thought these were kind of cool, especially the pizza ones. You can make your own little tiny pizza, that's so neat! My family actually never really bought Lunchables when I was a kid, and besides one time when I was really young, there were some really cool kids that let me have one of their pizzas. But besides that experience, I never really had them. But a few years back, I was actually buying some snacks for a movie marathon, and I just saw them in the refrigerator section, and I just said to myself, you know what? Screw it. I bought them immediately. They weren't that good. It was just candy with a Capri Sun, mixed with some not great crackers and cheese. Not completely awful, but you're better off just buying some Ritz crackers and string cheese. So maybe Lunchly could actually be an improvement to Lunchables. Even though they're still aiming at the same child audience, their whole marketing is that they're healthier than Lunchables. So let's make this review a comparison too, with also reviewing the Lunchable flavors that closely resemble the Lunchly lineup, seeing if Lunchly can actually taste better, and if any of this drama is actually valid. We have 3 Lunchly meals to eat, which are all inspired by 3 really well-known Lunchable products. Those being the Fiesta Nachos, which is recreating the nacho cheese dip, the Turkey Stack Gums, which is recreating the turkey and cheddar meal, and Lunchly's version of the pepperoni pizza is simply titled The Pizza, which is titled in very bold quotations. The packaging of the Lunchlys is whatever. The actual graphic design, on a technical aspect, is perfectly fine, but just feels generic. And because it has a mini Prime bottle in it, it makes the box thicker, which leads to some empty space and way more prone to getting damage. The Lunchable boxes are thinner and have a more appealing cover, but I do prefer the older logo and the more simple layout of the older Lunchable boxes. Let's start with the 2 nacho meals, with both use very similar tortilla. Oh, wait a minute. These are the same chips. These chips by themselves taste like they could be from the same brand. This one has more salt on it, but if you told me that this was the low sodium version, I would completely think these were from the same company because they have the same texture and flavor to it. Not the worst chips I've ever had, but kind of a little like stale, and having them refrigerated is not the best thing, but they taste exactly the same. Let's actually try the cheese. Oh, I don't want to eat this. Oh, this kind of looks gross. We'll try it with the cheese. That's just good old-fashioned, like, junk food cheese. It's kind of like that. It's like nacho cheese. It's something you get like a movie theater or a baseball game. It's good old-fashioned, like, junk food cheese. Not good for you, but it tastes good. Let's try the salsa. Very much cheap salsa, like the big jugs of salsa you can get. It tastes like it. It's like it just tastes like big American brand. This is it. It's big American brand snack food. It is very much something you see at an American like grocery store in like the junk food aisle. It is very much reminiscent of that. It is that. It's not like it's not good for you, but like it's what you expect. Like you can get this at a hot dog game, you can get this at a baseball game, you can get bowling alley, anywhere like America you can get this. It's iconic, but it's not great for you. Let's try the Mr. Beast one. It's thicker. It's kind of like a thick Thousand Island sauce. It's not expecting that. Definitely a much more mild flavor. Oh, there goes the prime. It doesn't have any flavor to it. It's so mild compared to this. It's not bad, but it's like, yeah, there's nothing to it. There's no, like, unique flavor to it. There's nothing distinct about this cheese. It just tastes like you're consuming something. Like, this at least has, like, a really nice spicy flavor to it. This tastes like you're just, yeah, it just tastes like you're consuming something. You're not eating anything. Where is it? Let's try the salsa. More tomato pasty. It is definitely more of a tomato paste. There is a little salsa flavor. Mild, like it's mild, but it's definitely more prominent than something like the cheese. It's fine. It's like an attempt at making a salsa. Like this is like someone's first try making salsa. It's not bad. Yeah, both these nachos aren't the greatest, but at least the Lunchable one has something to taste with it. The Lunchly one might be technically healthier, but both of its sides are lacking any flavor. At least the Lunchables cheese has some jalapeno tang to it, so it brings some complexity to some really cheap cheese. And the salsa, for being kind of generic, at least the flavor is noticeable. The Lunchly cheese and salsa, even if it's not bad per se, it's so underdeveloped and tastes like it's not fully prepared. It feels like it's missing some ingredients. Let's actually talk about the healthier marketing campaign, which has been the big push for Lunchly, saying that it's a healthier version than Lunchables. And even though in some aspects it is technically healthier than something like Lunchables, it's not something you should really call healthy. This is still processed food that's full of ingredients that aren't really great for you and can actually be really bad for children if eaten in large amounts. Even something like the electrolyte statement has been criticized by a large amount of people for just basically meaning having a higher sodium level. And with the Feastables, they actually have similar amounts of sugar as the candy and Lunchables, which really isn't the greatest for the younger audience that Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI have. Now, to say Lunchables are healthy would be disingenuous. They really are worse in a lot of aspects. In fact, Lunchables have been warned for the amount of lead they have in them, which is something that Prime has been accused of. So Lunchables are also something you shouldn't really eat in large amounts either. But it is really disappointing that Lunchly didn't go all the way with being healthier. There was a real opportunity to make something that was actually better than Lunchables, but they didn't really take that route. Feels like a waste, and knowing that these meals are aiming towards kids also feels more predatory. Also, since we already mentioned Prime, I'm just gonna say it, I am not a fan of the inclusion of them in any of these meals. I still do really want to make that video about Prime, so I don't want to go into super detail about all the health concerns of Prime in this video, but I'll say for now, the inclusion of Prime kinda irritates me. Having the same company that sells incredibly unhealthy energy drinks in a lunch kit meal meant for children doesn't sit right with me. Even the ones included with the Lunchlies are the sports drinks ones that don't have any caffeine in them. Some of them share the same flavors and labeling as the caffeine ones, which sometimes are grouped together in grocery stores and gas stations, which could lead to some confusion with children or even be used to condition them to eventually start drinking the energy drinks. That doesn't sit right with me. But actually drinking the Prime and the Fiesta nachos, which is the strawberry banana flavor, judging it by its own merits, It's pretty bad. Oh, it's kind of sour. Kind of tastes like it's too sweet. It tastes like it's kind of like a melting candy, like a sour candy, like that's melting over time, like in heat. Oh, that's bad. I don't like that. That's not good. It's not the worst thing on the planet, but it's like, when I review Prime, this is probably an E tier. It's like a low D tier, high E tier. It's not that good. I wouldn't drink this again. It's really Capri Sun. It's Capri Sun. It's not great for you, but it's Capri Sun. I'm not gonna deny that this is probably, that by technicality, this is probably worse for you. But if we're judging by taste, this one not only tastes better, but I also think fits this meal overall better. This just tastes way too sour. It brings down the whole meal. It tastes like a Hershey's Kiss. It's like a slightly milkier Hershey's Kiss. Like, not bad at all, but definitely not unique.
Have a break! Have a Kit Kat!
It's alright. I'm not a big fan of chocolate in general, but it's pretty alright. I can definitely see why this is some of people's favorite candy, but it's definitely not good for you. It definitely tastes better than the Feastables. I think the inside crunch makes it have a way more unique flavor to it, but this is basically just Hershey's Kiss in the bar form. It is very much just ripping off Hershey. It doesn't taste like it's the world's best chocolate. It is very much, we're just taking an already existing product and putting our logo on it. It's very much just Hershey's Kisses in the bar form. The second meal we'll be looking at is the pizza flavor, which this one has actually been under a lot of heat, or I should really say under a lot of mold. Some people are finding mold in the mozzarella cheese. Apparently it's really easy to spoil even before opening the packaging, which has been giving more fuel to the drama. Personally, I think the issue has to either do with the manufacturing or the transportation of the product. It might not be as processed as something like Lunchables, so it's probably easier to spoil and be more sensitive to different temperatures, but that is something that should have been taken into account and probably double checked before it was officially released. But after eating the pizza itself, honestly, it wasn't bad. I've had these before, but I've never had this. So I'm going to try out the Lunchley pizza first. Oh no, the potato. Not the potato, the salami. Not the salami, the pepperoni. I'm sorry. Pepperoni's alright. It's a little more salami-esque than pepperoni. The dough's kind of weird. The sauce is alright, and I actually like the cheese a little bit. Alright. Not amazing, but I don't think this is going to be great. The sauce is definitely more sweet, but this one's definitely a little more accurate with the pizza sauce. The bread is definitely mushier. Still very similar. This one's sweeter, but this one tastes more like pizza, but they are still very similar. They're not amazing, they're both not great, but I kind of like the Lunchley a little more. I'm kind of aiming towards the Lunchley. I'm going to try another one of these. I think the cheese is definitely more accurate. They kind of taste exactly the same, but this one definitely tastes more like cheese. The pepperoni, this is much better. This one it is definitely more a salami-esque than pepperoni, but I do think this does taste much better than this one. The Lunchables pizza did not taste horrible, and I can see why it's iconic, but it was too sweet and mushy. The Lunchy one tastes like you're actually eating a mini replica pizza. I actually might get some pushback for saying this, but I thought the cheese in the Lunchley was better than the one in the Lunchables. The taste was very similar, but the texture felt more fresh and more authentic, but there should have been more portions for the cheese in both the Lunchables and the Lunchley. But overall, I thought the Lunchley pizza was better. I still wouldn't call it amazing or healthy, but not bad at all. However, the Prime and Feastable bar that are included in this meal were a little more on the mixed side of things. This is the Cherry Freeze Prime. Definitely very sweet still, but tastes more like Powerade. Not really good combination with pizza, but this is very much just like blue Powerade. If I ever do make a Prime tier list, I think this is like a low C tier. This one's pretty alright. Not amazing, but it's like, yeah, this is pretty alright. Not terrible. Oh, There we go. So Capri Sun. I do think the Capri Sun fits way better with this meal than this drink fits with this meal. I think it is overall still better. Oh. Alright, let's try the chocolate. Huh. You can definitely tell that this is ripping off from this. But let's try it. Weird. It kind of tastes like you're eating chocolate with like non-popping Pop Rocks. It's kind of weird. Let's try the Crunch Bar. This is way better than this. The Crunch Bar is way better than this Feastables. The crunch is way better. This feels like you're eating a candy. This feels like you're eating broken glass a little bit. This one tastes way better. And lastly, we got the Turkey Stack'ems, which is a meal that includes slices of turkey, cheddar cheese, and crackers. Okay, I apologize if this next part is a bit jarring compared to the rest of the video, but the Turkey Stack'ems meal was incredibly hard to find. I went to 7 stores around my county. I was able to find the pizza and nacho meals perfectly fine, but the stores that had price tags for the turkey meals were all out. I actually did talk to an employee at a Rouse I went to, and they told me that the manufacturers of the Lunchleys were kind of having issues with them, so they wouldn't have them for quite a bit. And even some other YouTubers who also reviewed Lunchly also didn't have the turkey meals. So there was definitely some issue having with the turkey meals. My original plan to end this video was to review the Ice Pop Prime that's included in the Turkey Stack'ems and then mention that the turkey meals were out of stock. But when I was editing that part of the video, I went on the Kroger website to get some screenshots for like keyframing and stuff. And they had them in stock finally. Like after like weeks of looking like multiple times, it's like they finally had them like right before I released the video. I had to buy them online. So I had to buy like 5 of them. God. I also got the Lunchable meal. I think I had this before, and I think I remember hating this, so I'm not really excited to eat this one. All right, let's finally do this. After all the waiting, we gotta do it. Just like, come on. After all this time, let's do this. Oh, this does not look that good. Oh my God, it's wet. Oh, it's slimy. Oh, that's gross. Oh, it's so slimy on the fingers. All right, let's try the cracker first. Really dried out and kind of like a sugar-free cookie a little bit. It kind of has like the aftertaste of a graham cracker. And this is not really a good cracker. This is not that good. A little stale. Very stale. All right. Let's just try the cheese by itself. It's whatever. It's like Kraft shingles. Oh, I don't want to eat this. Oh, it's slimy. Oh, it's just really like, it like leaves like residue on your fingers. Let me try this. Oh my God, it's like rubber. Like people serve this to children. This is disgusting. Oh, I can't even swallow it. Oh, that's disgusting. I can't even finish that. Oh, let me at least try with the cracker. I'm gonna cover it with all the cheese. Let me try to cover this. I can still taste the turkey. I don't like the turkey. I need water. I'll be right back. Oh my God. Oh, that was an experience. I gotta get a glass of water. Let me try the Reese's cup. Oh. My biggest problem with Reese's cup is like, they're always like soft like in the bottom, but let's try it. Reese's cup, it's pretty damn good. I don't like chocolate, but I love the peanut butter stuff. Like I really love like Reese's Pieces, but yeah, it's like bad junk food for you, but it's just like taste-wise, it's probably like one of the better chocolates. The peanut butter cup was like the best part, of course. Like it's junk food, but it's like it tastes really good still. The cheddar cheese, which is basically like a Kraft single. Like I want to eat this, but it's like it wasn't awful. The cracker was just too dried out and tastes like a burnt graham cracker a little bit. This was horrendous. This was bad. Like I would not eat this again. Ugh. It's like slimy. It's like the most rubbery, like, garbage. It's like, it's not good. Like, oh, I gotta wipe my fingers. Oh, it's gross. All right. Oh, the Capri Sun. Like a bridge over troubled water. That's not even the hole. I didn't even get in the hole. It's like next to it. Let's try this. This is really watered down. It's not bad, but it's just like, it just tastes like water. I know this is beloved, but like, yeah, this is too watered down. The flavor is whatever, but it's like, there's not a lot of it. Let's try the lunch leaf. Let's try the cracker first. It tastes more similar to the Ritz crackers with the one, like the square ones. You have like the cheese dip ones. It tastes more similar to that than the normal Ritz cracker. It's whatever. It's slightly better than this, but it's like, it tastes a little stale still, and it's like, it's definitely not like great. Like, it's really kind of hard to crunch a little bit actually. It's like, it's a little too stiff. It's not bad, like the flavor's okay, but it's like, it's kind of minimal, and it's just like, it's just very stale a little bit. It's just a little too chewy for my taste. All right, try the cheese by itself. It really just tastes like they took a slice of cheddar cheese and like cut it into pieces. I know it's just probably like, this is probably just a sliced cheese, but it's like, I don't really eat this. It's just weird. All right, let's try the turkey. And it's not as slimy as the other one, but still a little wet. I don't like the aftertaste at all. It tastes a little funny, but it is definitely 100 times better than this one. Like, this is awful. I don't even want to touch that. Like, this is edible at least. When it enters your mouth, it actually tastes a little good, but the aftertaste is not that pleasant. It's a weird experience. Let's try with all three of them. Let's try this. It definitely works better as a combo than separate. This was not great, but I think overall worked better than this meal. The turkey was disgusting. Oh, it's just gross. I'm just gonna keep the original ending where I reviewed the Ice Pop Prime as well, because I think it goes more into detail. I can go right now. So put in a little editing transition in McGillicuddy. But to end this video, I thought I'd review the Ice Pop Prime that's included with the turkey stackums. The Feastable bar is the same one in the nacho meal, so the Prime's the only differing item that isn't the food. This Prime flavor is trying to recreate the flavor of a Bomb Pop, which is easily shown with the same color scheme with its bottle, and it is very accurate to it. Maybe a little too accurate. It does a really good job tasting like a melted down popsicle, but that is a flavor I really wouldn't like to drink a lot of. The popsicle flavor is overbearing, which leads to it just being way too sweet, and it can be a little hard to finish off. If I ever do make that video about all the Prime flavors, I would put this in maybe a low C tier, maybe a high D tier. I think if they water it down with some more coconut water, it could be better, but as it stands, just too strong.
Man, I sure do love Ryan's toy review.
Oh my gosh, Terror is dead. Just like his plushies campaign.
And that's all the Lunchleys I was able to get. And they were... Lunchly is not the worst product on the planet, but only improved a few minor things with Lunchables, and not fully became a better version of it, with the two YouTuber items actually bringing the meals down a bit. I think with the moldy cheese fiasco, and it being very hard to find the turkey meals, this product lineup seemed to be very rushed out the door. There should have been more time in making sure the food manufacturing and the transportation was up to the highest standards, and with how the reception happened with the release, it actually probably would have been better if they just delayed Lunchly. I do think most of the drama was exacerbated a bit. People were declared Lunchly dead even within just the first month of being available. And there's some other YouTuber food items that are also probably not healthy that most people don't really go up in arms about, so a lot of the hate towards Lunchly is probably more fueled by the behavior and allegations of the founders rather than the actual meals. With a few points of criticism feeling more forced than others, like a surprising amount of people were just criticizing how the cheese looks on the website. Like, really? If this was released before MrBeast's reputation was in question, I do think the hate would be far less, or at least having more people defending Lunchly. but I do agree with some of the online consensus that this is not a great product. It isn't bad, but feels like a way just to keep profiting off some young fan bases, which feels a tad exploitive. Lunchly had the opportunity to actually improve the unhealthy issues with the child meal market, which even Lunchables was able to do with their organic lineup a few years ago. So I think if the people working at Lunchly really wanted to, they would have went down the path of going fully organic and actually make something that was far healthier than Lunchables. But the path they went down just felt like another way to sell more Prime and Feastables. It really seemed like this was a quick way to make some already rich people richer. I do not recommend Lunchly, but I don't really recommend Lunchables either. If there are any children who are pretending to be older while watching this video, if you have guardians that make meals for you that you take to school, I would say enjoy those as much as you can. The people making those probably put more care and passion into them than Lunchly could ever do with their meals. And as for Lunchly, it's probably not the worst product ever made by a YouTuber, but it's one of the most rushed and soulless. It's just very disappointing. Well, I think that was a pretty good start to the new series. I just hope this is the only food product that was made by an internet personality that has a history of spoiling. No!